What's up, everybody? Chris is coming. She's got coffee. Today's going to be a yard update. Hey, look, by the way. Look. We have screens installed now. At least on most of the windows. Good morning.
Good morning.
So I want to talk about the yard, which, by the way, this is more, if you look at the house, back there, all the chickens. Here, I'll try to get this in there. That's a screenshot thumbnail for later. Everybody's happy this morning. So I want to talk about the yard this morning. Life in the farm. So let's go back, because I'm going to have to show everybody the before videos, which aren't very organized. It is morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's about 7:30 in the morning. On Monday. So when we first got here, this was all just barren, and I'm gonna switch the camera view now. Let me go back here to the beginning of the house. Hope you like the chickens, because they're gonna be a part of like every video, because the neighbors have them and we have them. Makes me laugh, all the chickens. So when we got here, all of this was barren. Completely barren. Like, there was no grass, it was just a barren patch of land. Now, if you remember, one of the first things I did, and I'll be showing the videos, clips throughout this video right here, so just pay attention and you'll understand what I'm talking about as we get through it. Over here, there used to be, wasn't here, it was like more over here, there was a slab of blocks, which was where the previous chicken coop was, and a bunch of, chicken manure on top of that. So just spent the last 2 hours cleaning the backyard for documentation. That's where we had our breakfast this morning, and I just was cleaning all the... People had done 3 fire pits here and burned trash, so I cleaned up all the springs and nails and plastic. Cleaned everything all the way back up to here. There's all the trash. It's gonna go out later. Little bit by little bit, we're gonna put a garden back there. Stay tuned. Alright, documentation process. So all these blocks right here and the ones out there used to be there. That was like a base of a chicken coop. I cleaned all those out, got a whole bunch of manure and dirt, which we're gonna use to put on top of the garden area. I already put it on top of the tree here, some fertilizer, and Chris planted a little mint bush over here yesterday. I was gonna clean all these off, and then Chris was like, we ought to just put them out in the yard and let the rain clean them, because they're full of, that's just manure. It's chicken poop and dirt. So it's really rich fertilizer, and just let it spread out all over the yard. So I threw the rest of them over there. It smells like a chicken coop this morning. But hey, I got free fertilizer, which was cool. Alright, so for the documentation process the other day, if you remember, I took all the block and I had cleaned up the old chicken coop area that's the neighbors, this is ours, and had a manure pile here, and I just went out and this is totally not square, by the way. This is the old fence, so I did 12 feet, so 4 meters out from there, and then measured back from the post coming back, and I was standing here looking at this going, that is not square at all. So that fence is definitely diving back that way, but whatever. So I've fertilized the garden area as best I could for now. Next time it gets rain, we should get some get that down in, and then we can start to think about putting forms down along here to form the outside boundary, and go from there. So yeah, stay tuned. Chicken manure on top of that. So the first thing I did was I scooped all that off, took all those rocks out, put them all over here, cleaned them all up, and then we eventually put them around here sort of as a temporary landscaping thing, mostly to try to keep the water and funnel the water to a specific direction. More on that in the flooding videos, which there are several of. The next thing I did was I took all of that chicken manure. If you remember, there was a pile over here that I had made, and I had spread it across the back third of the property, which is where we thought we were going to do our garden. Now that didn't happen because of iguanas, so we have to build a structure, which we didn't know until now. Cats just knocked over Christina's, yeah. And that's supposed to be for seeds, but it keeps getting thrown over, so we're gonna have to do something else. Anyway, that back third was supposed to be for a garden, and eventually we just can't do that. We have to build an enclosure now because of all of the iguanas that come out of the trees up there and come down and eat all your stuff. But I did put all the manure back there from the previous chickens and tilled the earth by hand with a shovel, and within a few weeks we started getting grass growing. Now, for a while, I think the first maybe, perhaps the first 2 months, I was pulling all the grass as it was growing because we weren't sure that we were going to let it grow because we thought that was going to be for a garden, until we realized that the iguanas were going to be an issue, so I stopped pulling the grass. Also, I'm a little worried about fleas because of the cats, and also we have spiders, snakes, scorpions, all those things that like to live in the grass, and some of them are poisonous, so we have to be careful of that kind of stuff because we are back up against a forest or a woods. What's up, Leia? What are you doing, Leia?
She's tired.
What are you doing? What are you doing, Leia? Anyway, what we've been doing is letting the grass grow now, and it's a slow process. I'm not planting anything, it's just natural grass. By the way, that's where the cats go under the fence back there. So now, one of the things we're doing because of we're not using cat litter. We're using oh, and Chris has some flowers growing here, planters full of stuff here. That's our little fire pit thing, firewood there, more firewood there. That's one of the cat boxes. So one of the things we're doing is we're not using cat litter. Instead, what we're doing is we're just using dirt. And you notice that this patch is kind of barren right now, and that's because Chris has cleaned the topsoil off. She's taken the soil out and used dirt from that area to fill the boxes. We scoop the poop, throw the poop, come back out here, throw the dirt across, and then water it down, which has been helping to a limited degree to do a little bit of fertilization. Although, understand, long term, you don't want to use too much of any sort of fertilizer because you can over fertilize. This is not my first time, ladies and gentlemen. I grew up on a dairy farm and cattle ranch, and I'm sure somebody in the comments can be like, you can't use cat pee for fertilizer. You can use any sort of pee for fertilizer. So, yeah. Anyway, we have started to let this grow for now. And then what Chris is basically doing is she'll cycle through this area and then she'll move to the middle, remove that dirt and start doing it there and throwing the old dirt here, and then moving over to here. I think we actually threw, right there you can see where that block is. We threw old dirt out this morning, so we're about to move and take dirt from here, which means get rid of the grass there, and we're cycling through the backyard. We're not worried about this back third because eventually we're going to build an enclosed garden there, which will be raised up on a bed of gravel, and I'll have to do landscaping. And then the idea is that we will have a walkway that will come through here, and there goes Leia. All the kittens are outside playing. So we'll eventually have an enclosed garden out there that's up on a bed of gravel with like wood structures or block structures around it. And then it'll have a complete enclosure with wire mesh and everything so that the iguanas can't get in and destroy things. Then we'll have a walkway coming back, which will have stones on either side of, and that will be dirt, and then everything else. We'll probably do gravel, and then the rest we're going to let grass grow, and we're going to cultivate like we're doing here. It doesn't look like much right now. I understand there's still patchiness, but this is what's grown in 3 months. And we're just letting this whole area is just growing as it will, as nature intends, and we're letting it do its own thing now. So this is all just vegetation. Also, you're seeing it start to spread from there. It's spreading out through here. It's a little patchy here, and that's because the water runs down there, runs down here, and if you've watched, I don't think I've published the flooding video yet, but it comes down here, goes there, down the house, and then that little section is where it goes out, down to the street. It's the only place that water has to drain from this back property because that's all blocked off with a retaining wall, and we live on the downside of this slope that just goes up like this all the way up through there. So we get all of the water that comes down, and it sucks. So eventually this will all, we'll fix the drainage and stuff. But this is one things I wanted to show. So we have, this is a
This is mandarin.
A mandarin plant.
And the other is lemon.
Can you show the other one?
Yes, it has a new...
Well, just go over there and I'll come with you. So this is the first one we planted. Lemon tree. Well, it's lime green. Limon. Amarillo.
No, del verde. Limon.
So that's a lime tree.
Lime.
So that's a lime tree that's been growing for about 1 month.
Yes.
And then this is our mandarin tree, which has been growing for about 3 months. And he took a long time to get going. He was for a long time like 3 inches tall. And he finally started growing. Now these are not the permanent places. We just planted them here. We're gonna come over here and we're gonna put like 1 meter or something over. We're gonna put one here, then we're gonna go a meter that way and put one here. So it'll be like one here. Actually, why don't you stand here and I'll show a little bit better. So we're gonna put one right there, and then basically where the fire pit, where Dora is, just beyond Dora, yeah, we'll put another one right by her right foot is gonna be where we put the other tree. So these are long-term goals, but these just got planted. That one's 3 months old, that one's about a month old. So here pretty soon we're gonna transplant them. Yeah. All right, I think that's the update for this morning, with whatever videos I show in between. What did I have in my hair?
Huh?
Tree somethings. Yeah. Anyway, thanks everybody. Hope you liked this. Until next time, stay tuned. Bye-bye.